What's the most tech illiterate thing you've seen a person do? My nana once asked my granddad to turn her laptop on when she got home. He ended up ringing her because he couldn't find the button to turn it on. So she was getting annoyed, saying it's right there in the top right corner. After a minute or two of utter confusion, she stopped, laughed, and asked if he'd opened the lid of the laptop. He asked, "What lid?" Now, that underscore is adorable. There's something I aspire to be. My professor wants to take a photo with an iPad instead of a phone, so that it would look larger when uploaded. That's not how that works. Plus, tablets have awful cameras. Wasting an entire tech budget on peripherals, with no computers to attach them to. A school I worked at spent more on nice monitor mounting brackets than they did on the computers. I thought that was stupid at the time. But they've survived several generations of computers and are still very useful, since it's at an elementary school and there's a huge difference in position needed for first graders versus fifth graders. Why buy quality computers when the kids will probably break them? There are a few people here at work who will take a picture at the job site, print the picture, scan the picture to their email from the copier, and then forward the email to the recipient. My mom is kinda like this. She will copy a URL from her laptop to a piece of paper and bring it to me in the next room. Oh, that's kinda cute though. This girl I know took off the W key on her keyboard and switched it with her A key and was super confused when the keybinds weren't switched. Why would you even want to swap the places of the A and W keys? The dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural. My dad, who is 95 and completely computer illiterate, knows that you can look up anything on a computer, but doesn't know the right words. He was talking about an old boxer the other day. I think it was Jack Dempsey. He stated some stats of his career, and when I expressed surprise he said, "Go look it up on your eBay. They'll tell you I'm right." My grandpa died about 2 years ago, and I think his favorite aspect of the internet was that it would confirm he was right about baseball arguments, especially anything involving the Yankees. The street he lived on was almost entirely retired people, but a surprising number of them owned smartphones, and most could use a computer fairly well. Several times growing up I saw him get in an argument with one of his similarly crotchety friends about some random ass baseball trivia, and he would always confidently tell them to go look it up on your goddamn internet. I'll wait. Without fail. He was correct. Google got its baseball trivia from your grandpa. Old lady asking someone to withdraw money at the ATM and giving strangers a PIN for her card because she didn't know how to do it. She does this regularly. There's a ridiculous amount of people who will just yell their PIN to me in the drive-thru to withdraw money because they don't want to fill out a withdrawal slip or use the ATM. Same goes for their SS number. Just as bank tellers don't want to know your PIN or have you yell your personal info to them. Just fill out your slips and stop bitching about giving them your driver's license. Edit. Holy crap, this really blew up. Thank you for the award and thank you for all your stories. Nobody is perfect, tellers or customers, but the people who work at the bank don't own it and don't make the rules. They're just trying to keep your information safe, keep their jobs, and help you navigate the processes that have been established. The bank employees you're dealing with aren't the ones with any power, but if you can muster up some patience they will do everything they can to help, and that includes bugging their bosses to make an exception if possible and call you back with information. In college, a bunch of us were out in a group in a party part of town. We were accounting majors BTW. We are walking down the street in a big group and I look down and see a card on the ground. I pick it up and it's an ATM card with a set of 4 numbers written on the back. Flip it over and it's got the name of a girl in our group. Girl is a genius that can't forget anything. Literally remembers everything. Give it back to her and ask her if that is her PIN. It was. My mom makes a new folder every time she uploads a new picture. She has like 600 folder with 1 or 2 pictures each. She doesn't see the problem. She's just doing that to hide her hentai collection from you. Ah, I could see that. Asked client to restart her computer and she proceeds to unplug it. That's one way of doing it. The hard reset. Trading computer monitors with someone so they could see how their desktop was set up. Bruh, how did you find out they were doing that? Probably post-its stuck to the monitor gave it away. How could Roger's ML password be Adam123? My boss, the guy doing the pad testing, has broken my computer. Me, how has he broken it? My boss, it won't switch on. Me, that's the monitor. Switch it on at the computer. My boss, this is the computer. Me, no, that is the monitor. What is the black box on the floor? My boss, a printer. Me, what? We brought my grandpa a new computer monitor and set it up. My hubby and I live about 45 minutes away. We were barely home when my grandpa calls all upset that the new monitor is broken. He keeps turning it on and off and sees nothing. So, we arranged to go back the next day. My grandpa called back a couple hours later to tell us we didn't have to come back. He had just realized the computer was off. It was pretty cute. Using a mouse upside down was pretty funny to see. This was a while ago. How did they use it upside down? Like if the cord was facing you instead of away, with the buttons under your palm. I work in web dev, which includes some occasional photo manipulation. One client brought in an old photo of her great grandfather with his back to the camera. She wanted me to turn him around in Photoshop so she could see his face. Another client got absolutely livid with me that I couldn't take the hyperlinked words from her web pitch, port them over to her print ad, and still have them function like a link. All you have to do is figure out how to make the link work on a printed ad and you're the next trillionaire. Or I guess just hand out iPads as a business card. I mean, quarter codes are basically printed links. I work in a cell phone store. I have had on more than one occasion customers get mad at me that I can't access other people's text messages. I had that happen all the time. The worst was a lady that paid her boyfriend's bill and wanted to see his texts, but wasn't on his account anyways. I'm in a high school engineering course, and we were doing 3D modeling on laptops. This one girl who was clearly just there to fulfill graduation requirements used the trackpad every day for over a week. And if you've ever tried 3D modeling with a trackpad, then you know it just doesn't work. Eventually, I asked her why, and she responded my mouse doesn't fit, and proceeded to prove to me that her mouse, USB, in fact does not fit into the SD card slot. It still amazes me that a 16-year-old kid who has grown up in the 21st century does not know how to plug in a computer mouse. This is actually good for people like me though. It lets me know that I'll still have a job in 30 years, since even with tech everywhere, people are still dumb and will rely on me to fix their messes because they don't want to learn super basic stuff. It is because those 21st century kids are consumers of the technology. They are not the creators. Most of them would give up when Snapchat stops working. Someone who also insisted on printing anything and everything also covered up the second monitor with a piece of paper because they didn't need it. Everyone there had 2 monitors at their workstation, and it was really damn necessary. This person insisted it was distracting, and there was nothing they couldn't do without it. I've had executives that asked to take the second monitor away. To be fair, they were using early MacBook Airs, so they would look cool pulling them out at board meetings. I don't think they actually knew how to use their computers. I've had the same happen at my job. Some people hate that the cursor gets lost on the second screen. They only want to focus in on a single screen and want the other taken away. Back around 2009, my dad was pretty sure that partition was just the more official term for folder. Not really sure how he got the idea, but he sure ran with it. That was a pretty painful time, not least for my brother who was studying computer science at the time and was therefore tasked as the laptop undocker. A woman in her 30s, too young to be this technically illiterate given this was in 2017, was trying to plug in the female side of a power cable to a wall outlet. And when it was missing, the prongs came to the logical assumption they had broken off and gotten stuck in the wall. I saw all of this in person. While she was on the phone with her poor tech support guy, probably confused on how this woman tore the prongs off of her power cable. She figured it out before I left, but it was a sight to see. That's next ducking level, like. Power outlets were around a century ago, I think. My girlfriend's grandma thought that people's profile pictures were pictures that they sent to her. My grandma double clicks on everything. To be fair, we used to have to double click on everything. We had a supply for IT class at school once who asked some kid how to make a folder. He didn't know and said maybe I would know. I didn't know. All the senior citizens in my office used to save Word docs and Excel workbooks in their default folders only. I found out when one asked me why there were several documents and workbooks on my desktop. Blew their minds when I showed them how they could create folders and so categorize and organize everything. Till then their desktops just had program shortcuts and the recycle bin. I did appreciate the fact that they had developed a nifty system of naming docs/XLS as cleaned name _year_month_bizinfo_invoices_number. And so on, which is essentially how files are organized in folders on a computer if you replace underscores with slashes. Please note that these were extremely intelligent people who were awesome at their jobs. Computers just came very late into their lives. That's a slippery slope. My parents' desktop has always been cluttered with random files for years with no rhyme or reason. Mind you, they are not technically illiterate, just they put random stuff on the desktop. It baffles me. As an IT guy I could go on for hours, but a couple gems come to mind. A Word document on a desktop titled Passwords with usernames and passwords for every account from banks to phone, email, TV, internet, insurance etc. on an unsecured Windows laptop with quick detach drive. They brought it in for a remote access scam. A lady came in saying her PC didn't turn on. I pressed the power button and presto, it turned on. She didn't know it had a power button and had never turned it off. She's a very expensive lawyer and had a $2.5K laptop she used for email and legal forms. I can beat you on your first point. A Word document saved to a shared work folder with all their passwords for their work accounts, where you can access bank details and security questions. So could steal anyone's info and make it look like it's their fault. Their own passwords for various services, Netflix, bank account passwords, not actual bank info, passwords for their TV accounts, and they saved it there twice. Supervisor, well, we could ask it, but there's nothing they could really do about it, because she couldn't identify the issue with my computer. It wouldn't be able to fix it or help at all. To be fair, this is sometimes true. For some problems it is useless, either because they don't have access or just don't have the knowledge. I end up just hopping to the server and doing things myself 99% of the time. We all dread talking to it. Context: I'm in the R&D softwaring department and our IT is contracted out to another continent. The thing that bugs me about her attitude is that she wasn't willing to even entertain the possibility that it would be worthwhile to have them check. Type Google in a Google search engine search box. Sometimes I do that so I can see Google's logo of the day when it's a special day. I always think of how I'm now in the stats of the percent of idiots that Google. Google's logo of the day, FYI, it's called the Doodle. It infuriates me when I see someone being way too specific with their Google searches and then complain when they can't find anything. What is the best way for someone to remove a stain from their bed sheets but keep the quality of the fabric the same and not ruin the sheet and not have to buy new sheets? Harmless stain removal for sheets. That's just someone who doesn't know how to articulate and form proper sentences. It seems like when tech gets involved, otherwise perfectly intelligent and sensible people seem to just lose the ability to form coherent sentences. Like, imagine some of the gibberish people talk when they are talking about tech, then translate it into car talk. My computer's broken. I can't see the eBay because I have no Wi-Fi. I think I need more internet. My car's broken. I can't see car park because I have no wheels. I think I need more road. Apostrophe. Hey, Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more daily Reddit videos.